Hello and welcome to this new episode of Encounter. And today we had the pleasure to receive with us Brother Charlie Hogg from Brahma Kumari. He is with the Brahma Kumaris since 50 years and he's the Regional Director of the Brahma Kumari World University for Asia and the Pacific region. And you are here also for the Golden Jubilee of the Brahma Kumaris in Mauritius. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Rishi. It's lovely to be with you.
So 50 years, and we would like to know about yourself and when did you join, how and why did you join the Brahma Kumaris and your experience with the organization.
Well, in essence, Rishi, I grew up in Melbourne, and I think from a young person I was fascinated by philosophy and spirituality. But I studied architecture at Melbourne University, but that internal yearning to know more was very strong. So when I was just 20, I wandered the world for a few years. I often see it as my education. I went right overland, literally from Australia to London, and right through Southeast Asia, India, the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. And I lived in religious communities everywhere, with Sikhs and Muslims and Christians and Hindus and Taoists, and it was a wonderful education for me. And I began to meditate myself. And I really had a realization, with all my education, I had very little control of my mind. And that really fascinated me, how we have so much information about the world outside, but to understand the world inside, it's not a part of our education curriculum. So I was living and working in London, and I was just shopping around all the various meditation and spiritual groups, and I came across the Brahma Kumaris there. And I just think they offered me a methodology to know myself through meditation that really, it just worked for me personally. And you know how life is. I'd never made a decision that this is what I'm going to do for my life, but here I am 50 years later. I'm in Mauritius to celebrate the Golden Jubilee.
You're celebrating your Golden Jubilee together with the Golden Jubilee of Brahma Kumaris in Mauritius. So you're here for some activities. So would you mind telling us about what you'll be doing in the celebrations period?
Well, yes, today the whole of the Brahma Kumaris community around the country, which is some thousands of people, will come together just to celebrate and give respect. And then on Saturday, I think we're having something with the president of the country, and there's going to be a lot of acknowledgement of the work, because the Brahma Kumaris, a community organization, don't charge for what they do. So they've really done a lot for this country to help the spirit or the soul of Mauritius, if I can say that.
And you'll be part of that?
Pardon? I will be yes, I will be a part of it, yes.
And so you have been talking about, you discovered Brahma Kumari and you believed in meditation that transformed yourself. So what are the principles or your belief in meditation of the Brahma Kumaris?
You know, Rishi, there's different types of meditation, like everything in life. But here we learn to know the self, realize the self, and experience the self. And that made a lot of sense to me, because looking at our world, the chaotic world we're living in at the moment, where does it begin? For me, in a sense, it's because the first relationship in life is so unhealthy for most people. You know, we put ourselves down, we have a very negative self-talk. And when 8 billion people are like that, it flows into family life, it flows into the workplaces, it flows everywhere. So it just made a lot of sense that I need to learn more about myself. So what we learn in meditation is who I am, that I am the soul, the consciousness, the spirit. Not just to believe it, because actually 80% of the world believes there's something more than a body, but actually translate it into an experience. And when I'm self-aware and I experience that, this wonderful quality of internal calm, if I can even use the language like a mind at rest. You know, that mind today that's driven, it's just chronically driven. It's like we can never, even when we sleep, we never feel, oh, I'm really relaxing deeply.
Yes.
So it's trying to go really deep to know the self and change the way I feel internally.
Now, you're talking the mind at peace. It's like, do we need to sit somewhere? How can we do that? I mean, forget everything. I mean, today we work, people go to school, we have family. Some thoughts cross our minds. And is it easy to now, say, sit and don't do anything, don't think anything, stop thoughts crossing our minds? Is it easy to do it?
I wouldn't call it easy and I wouldn't call it difficult, because what I've learned is everyone has the capacity. But you see, we are so used to a culture of busyness, a distracted mind. And when you look at the way the mind works, Rishi, today it's like, you see a behavior of somebody, you let it in your eyes, think, think, think. Someone criticizes or has some news, and you let it in the ears, think, think, think. It's like the external world's driving my internal world. It's like I'm a slave to everything outside.
Yes.
So everything that's happening out there is driving how I feel in here. And in a sense, gently, not with force and control, but with love and wisdom, I'm taking back the sovereignty of my sense of self. So that when you sit to meditate, rather than reacting to life, you are creating the thoughts you want. So you sit down. And of course, it takes practice. You're absolutely right. And other thoughts will come in. It wouldn't be honest to say. But even when you start to do it semi-well, the sense of quality of life that can be achieved is extraordinary. Because I often feel that, so much in this world, we have everything out there, but we're sort of bankrupt in here. Mm-hmm. And the spirituality in meditation is to really heal the mind, heal the heart, heal the feelings inside.
So you talked something new now, spirituality of the mind. What is the concept, spirituality of the mind? What is that?
I would say it's a decision in life that all the stuff that I hear and see and interact with, it's a lot of negativity, and often we dwell on it. And what's the result of that? I don't feel happy. So spirituality is like a choice that I can observe what's happening. I'm not denying, I'm not running away from the reality of life. But I know that if I choose to create quality thoughts of myself and even know the value of other people, my mood will be better. It's so simple, it's so logical actually. But when you get a little bit of internal strength to actually practice elevated thinking, then you're less distracted. And when the distractions come, you know that I don't want to go down that pathway. You know how sometimes something will make you miserable when you think about it. There's something that's happened in the past, but you can't stop your mind going there, and it will make you miserable.
Yes.
Well, here we sort of learn to say, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go here and keep my mind above water, so to speak. And honestly, the more your mind is in a quality state, because I often feel the mind's like a perfume. People feel your thoughts. It influences your family and your colleagues too. Because we actually, when you meet somebody, you instantly get a feeling from them.
Yes.
That's the quality of their thinking. So it's not only just improving the quality of your life, actually it has an influence on your relationships as well.
So you're talking about calming the mind, but what about the heart, which gives us emotions like anger, happiness, sadness? So it's not just the mind. We believe the mind is, but the heart also controls that. And how to calm that heart also.
Probably what we're talking about is the second step of meditation. Because I would say the first step is to sit down and start to create thoughts about who I am and converting the awareness of the self as the soul into a feeling of peace. But second, it's to connect with the divine or God, not in a religious way. I'm not praying or doing devotion, but having a relationship with a soul like me, a soul without a body, but a soul that is of a quality of love that I'll get from nowhere else. My observation of being and learning meditation myself and teaching to thousands of people, when people get a connection with the divine, the quality of that love, what it does to the heart, the healing of the heart is extraordinary. I've seen it on numerous occasions. Just a lot of the hurts of the past, a power to forgive, a power to let go, a power to move on. And it's an extraordinary thing when that second step, that relationship really is experienced.
You're talking about healing things that have hurt you
Yeah.
or are hurting you around.
Yeah.
And now you talk also about the soul, right? We know the mind is situated here, the brain, the heart has some place. But where is the soul in the body? I mean, we talk about the soul, we don't see it, we don't know exactly where it is. So how to connect, like you say, with the soul, and then, like you said, to the Supreme, to the God, how to do that? How to recognize the soul, first of all?
Yes, it's a really fascinating question because the soul or consciousness is non-physical. And the soul, as I often describe, is a point because it doesn't have a physical size. I once met a very famous world physicist who told me that a point is the ultimate unknowable for science because it's beyond matter. But we understand that the soul lives in the front of the brain around the pituitary gland. My understanding is at the time of birth, the soul comes and sits on the body and on the forehead of the body. But it forgets itself and then it adopts the labels. Some are male, some are female, some are African, some are European. And then once we forget who we are and we start to see each other by the labels, so much difference is created in that sense because we've forgotten really who we are. But to understand the soul is really at the heart, not only understand but experience the soul is really at the heart of the meditation methodology. And when you actually, like you're talking to me now, and you know when you're thinking about something, you feel it here, and you sort of, when you're really thinking, you put your mind there, you know, the thinker was like that's famous statue, because that's really, the soul sits in the body. But I am the soul, this is my body. It's a temporary me, it's a wonderful instrument. But the whole of this sort of meditation is to realize the permanent me and experience that permanent peace. And that influences the quality of my life to an extraordinary extent. It's like I have a new perception of how things are around me.
Yeah. So we believe that the soul is immortal. The soul travel, the soul can think, the soul can influence. So how to unleash this power to control or to talk, to connect to the soul and get that synergy between the physical body, the mind, and the soul?
You know, in one way, I see the soul like the program. The body or the brain is the computer, and the body is the system that the computer is running. And the soul is really an overname, I would say, for three aspects of consciousness, which is the mind. And I often think of the mind like a screen. We've got a screen behind us. So all the data from life, what I hear, what I see, what I taste, what is thrown up on the screen of the mind. The intellect assesses the data. And the intellect makes decisions. I'll do this, I won't do this. Then we understand that every action I perform is recorded in my subconscious. So the wonder of life is that you and I are sitting here having a chat in the studio on the 25th of September, but we both carry a perfect record in our subconscious of our past actions. And then when we do them many times, they become habits. And this is why sometimes people really want to be loving. And, you know, they think, I really want to be loving, but in 1 minute they feel irritated, they feel angry, they feel resentful because the habit, the programming of my past overlays and is influencing my present. And one of the reasons of the spiritual journey or meditation is to actually clear the effect of that shadow so that I can free myself and be the person I really want to be, not be held down by my habitual negative thinking and negative emotions.
Brother Charlie, when we read a bit about the Brahma Kumaris, we come across this concept of Raja Yoga.
Yeah.
Would you mind telling us, explaining a bit more about Raja Yoga?
Sure, Rishi. There's traditionally 8 limbs of yoga,
Yeah.
and you work through them all. Hatha yoga is the discipline of the body, pranayama, the discipline of the breathing. But Raja Yoga is really the discipline of the mind. And Raja yoga is union. It's the union with the divine. It's considered the highest state for the human mind to taste that union, that connection, that love, that belonging. And so Raja means the king of yogas in this sense, because I'm actually mastering my mind, not through force and control, but with love and understanding. And this is the journey. In a way, when we meditate, we learn to just let go the consciousness of all the labels of my body conscious. I become soul conscious. I look through the third eye and I see the divine. I see God. I'm a soul. God is a soul too. I have a body and sense organs. God doesn't. So hence why I become silent. And I connect with my mind. And it's almost like I download this unlimited love, peace, power, happiness, etc. I have a one-stop shop for my mind, I often feel, all day the mind is wandering, searching, seeking. It's looking for something. Ultimately, we all need the nutrients of love and peace and happiness. And in a way, that's a one-stop shop for that.
And now, while you were speaking, I caught a word. You said power. So what is power? What is your concept? I mean, some people believe power is like, political power or military power. What is the power of the mind and body and the person itself? What is his power?
Yeah, and it's a loaded word today, isn't it? Because we see so much corrupt power in our world. A lot of people, because that's the power of force and control and domination and bullying and things like that. Spiritual power is the absolute opposite. It's the power of humility, the power of gentleness, the power of respect, the power of good wishes. And that's actually real power, real power. And so it's almost like when I forget who I am and I become body conscious, I become weak. Everything influences my mind. Yeah. You're empty inside, so I often feel your mind's like a vacuum cleaner. I need, someone gives me love, someone gives me respect, someone insults me, I take that, I take everything because I'm empty. But actually, the more I know myself, that's the first step to spiritual power, connect to the divine, I empower myself not to drink in the world. And I often feel, rather than absorbing everything of life, people's insults, criticisms, I begin to observe. I'm present, I'm involved, I'm connected, I'm responsible, but I observe. So I stay in my sense of self-respect. At the heart of spiritual power is a sense of self-respect that no one can
Yes.
I hold it in every situation in life, no matter what's happening around me. Now, of course, these things take practice.
Exactly.
But and yet, I think it's where we all would love to feel stronger in that way.
Just coming to that, when people say, okay, now maybe inspired by you with this program, they want to say, okay, I'm going to start meditating now. And some people say, oh, no, I can't do it. I can't stop thinking that. So do people need to go to professionals or like people like you or people here in Mauritius towards the Brahma Kumaris? Do they need to go to professionals or do they just need to go, on some YouTube videos and reading something and start doing by themselves?
Rishi, that's a really excellent question because I feel people yearn to meditate and feel peace, but you need a person to interact with and to ask all your questions. And like the Brahma Kumaris have nearly 20 centers around Mauritius. So I feel it's really good, to have someone that will give you the instruction. We offer a simple course of about 7 lessons to introduce, and you can get started. But it's like a self-education in one way, but there's nothing about gurus, but you need a teacher who has experience just to help you when you hit a brick wall with your own thinking or a problem or an obstacle, to talk it through so that you can continue. You know, I often feel it's the best investment in quality of life because mental health is the biggest issue today.
Yes.
It's such a big issue. And meditation is a way of caring for myself. It's a form of self-care, actually. It's a form of self-love. You know, we exercise and sleep and eat well for my body. What do I do for my mind? And yet it's the mind which is really the big problem today.
Yeah. And like you say, mental health is a very key issue because we are surrounded by, every day we look at the news, war here, conflict here, at the workplace, maybe people don't feel happy. Things change, they're resistant to change. I mean, some people are driven out of their comfort zone and then they become depressed. They don't want to accept that. What do? They can't change job. They need to feed their families, they need to live. And, but how to deal with all that? You know, things are not good around us. We don't have control on that. But how do we control what is wrong and turn that to right for ourselves?
Yeah, because we can't control the world out there. So most of us feel a victim. We feel a victim of governments and decision makers and bosses and even family members. But what we have control over is my thoughts, my feelings, my behavior, my actions, my words. And actually, what spirituality is I can't change out there, but I can change my reaction to out there. And really, that makes a huge difference when I learn that actually most of the problem is my reactions to things. And when I reprogram my reactions to a lot of stuff, I can retain my peace and still be effective, still be a good leader, still be an effective participant. I don't have to be angry. I don't have to have a very negative and angry and hateful attitude towards people who are different from me.
Now, when you're talking about people going to meditation, some people say, okay, I have a family. Can I do it with my family, my children? Can we do it in group or alone?
100%. You know, I would say in the Brahma Kumaris worldwide, the majority are families and they meditate together. And you know, an interesting thing I've seen when husband, wife, and kids meditate together, it's incredible influence on the closeness that the family feels. I don't know whether you've ever felt, you know, you can sit and talk to someone for hours.
Yes.
But sometimes you can just sit with someone silently and you can feel closer to them, just in silence sometimes. Because when you meditate, you create elevated thoughts and it creates an atmosphere. And I feel that when a family meditates at home, it really improves the vibe, the feeling, the atmosphere in the home. And even when one of our family members is struggling, when we meditate and give them good wishes and pure feelings, it supports them. It's a way of supporting them when they're going through that difficult time.
Brother Charlie Hogg, one last question. You know, okay, we'll live in this world. Someday we're going to leave, go and leave back. And how does meditation help us to, you know, go smoothly on this path? Like I said, there's many problems around us. Maybe not our problems, but we get affected. I mean, we feel, you know, someone is sad. We feel affected. We have a heart. We feel sad for them. But how does this meditation path, you know, help us to overcome that and, you know, go smoothly in this world?
You know, as they say, the most inevitable thing is we're all going to pass away.
Yes.
You know, I would say one of the main things for me is the understanding of death. That actually I'm a soul. That's the permanent me. I look through my eyes, I speak through my mouth. I'm going to leave this body. And the more that you realize and experience that, I can honestly say the fear of death has almost gone. I would probably be dishonest if I said totally, but because the reality is we just take this temporary body and then the soul will continue. A lot of meditation puts a whole lot of context to everything in life, why things happen, why sometimes you have a really difficult relationship with one family member, the other family member you're so close to. Rather than just getting emotional, there's a context and a wisdom to help me understand why. and it makes life a lot easier in my experience.
Brother Charlie Hogg, well, I hope our viewers have enjoyed what you shared with us, and also thank you very much for having shared all your thoughts and opinions and your guidance with our viewers. So we have come to the end of this program and hope you enjoyed this show talking to Brother Charlie Hogg. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time for another episode of Encounter. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Rishi. Thank you.